What's going on, guys? FadeitLuie here, bring guys a brand new video. We're gonna be doing a mid fade on my boy, so stay tuned. We're starting off by saturating the hair, combing everything into place, making sure our canvas is nice and neat. We're now moving on to our go to effects, and we're gonna create our first guideline, contouring to his head shape. Now that we're done balding them out, we can move on to our no guard all the way open and create our second guideline. You want to make sure you make this guideline around 1 inch thick so you can spread the blend. Now that we're done setting in the guideline, we're going to slowly close the lever midway and all the way close and attack that initial guideline. Always make sure to stretch the skin with your opposite hand to give you more space to blend. Now that we're done erasing our initial guideline, we can move on to our one guard all the way open and create our third guideline. We're then going to use this same guard and the lever to soften up the line and get ready for the half guard. Now that we're done softening up the line, we can move on to our half guard and erase the line completely. Make sure to use your lever and also the corners. I hope you guys are enjoying the video. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. It's greatly appreciated. Now that we're done with the lower guards, we can move on to our two guard all the way open and create our fourth guideline. We're also going to use this same guard and the lever to soften up the line and get ready for the 1.5 guard. Now that we're done softening up the line with the 2 guard, we can move on to the 1.5 guard and erase the line completely. This guard is going to help us connect to the 1 guard all the way open and also the 2 guard on top. Sometimes there's still a faint line after using your 1.5 guard, so you switching over to your 1 guard all the way open and using its corners would definitely help. Before we finish blending the parietal ridge, we're going to switch over to our 4 guard all the way closed and debulk the top. Now that we're done debulking the top and sides, we can move on to our 3 guard all the way open and create our 5th guideline. This is going to help us connect to the 4 guard on top and also the 2 guard all the way open. Here I'm using my 3 guard and my 2 guard all the way open to debulk and detail as much as possible. Now I'm switching over to my clip roll comb method to make the blend as smooth as possible. Now that we're done detailing the sides, we can move on to the back and start off with our no guard all the way open and then slightly close the lever midway and all the way closed and attack that initial guideline. We are near the occipital bone, so you want to make sure you take your time here and detail as much as possible. Now that we're done erasing our initial guideline, we can switch over to our 1 guard all the way open and create our 3rd guideline. We are right on top of the occipital bone, so you want to make sure you detail. Also, use your lever to soften up the line as much as possible here. As you can see, now that we're done softening up the line, we can move on to the half guard and erase the line completely. Remember, we are using its lever in the corners. Since we're done with the lower guards, we can move on to our 2 guard all the way open and create our 4th guideline. This guideline is going to help us get ready for the 1.5 guard and also blend into the 3 guard on top. Now we're switching over to our 3 guard all the way open, and this is going to help us connect to the 4 guard on top that we debulked with. We're also going to use a 4 guard all the way closed on the beard, the same thing we used on top. Before we line him up, we're going to make sure his hairline is nice and even with the 4 guard closed. Now that we're done going against the grain on his hairline, we can move on to our gold FX and start off in the middle, working our way to the sides. You always want to make sure you go slow enough that the hair feeds into the teeth of the trimmer, because if not, then you won't line them up properly. Moving on to my C cup, I'm starting off at the bottom and working my way to the top arch using the corners of the blade. You also want to make sure you're going against the grain, especially if the hair is growing to the sides. Make sure to keep the corners and vertical bars as natural as possible. Nobody wants the corners too exaggerated. Now we're moving on to the C cup and we're starting off at the bottom and working our way to the top arch using its corners. Again, I hope you guys are enjoying the video. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. It's greatly appreciated. Also, if you made it this far into the video, leave a comment down below of my subscriber count. I'm 100% going to reply to you guys. We're going to use our no guard all the way open to start off the fading the sideburns. We're then going to move on to our one guard all the way open and arch the clipper at a certain angle. Now that we're done with the one guard, we're switching over to our 1.5 guard all the way open, which is equivalent to a 2 guard closed. Now that we're done fading the beard, we can move on to our turquoise razor and Derby premium blades and make them as crispy as possible. When you're using the razor, you always want to make sure you stretch the skin with your opposite hand as much as possible, and also keep the razor at a 45-degree angle. This lowers the likelihood of you cutting someone. Also, don't forget to use shave gel on the bottom of the neck, especially if they have coarse hair. What's going on, guys? FadeitLuie here, bringing you guys a brand new video. We're going to be doing a mid-taper on my uncle, so stay tuned. We're going to be starting off by debulking the top with the foreguard all the way open. My uncle hates when his hair is long, so we're making sure we're keeping it short but dark at the same time. Now that we're done debulking the top, we can move on to the back taper and start with our Babyliss Gold FX. Now that we're done balding them out and making our initial guideline, we can move on to our no guard all the way open and create our second guideline. You want to make sure you make this guideline around 1 inch thick so you can spread the blend. We're then going to slightly close the lever midway and all the way close and attack that initial guideline. Now that we're done erasing our initial guideline, we can move on to our 1 guard all the way open and create our third guideline. This is right on top of the occipital bone, so you want to make sure you spend as much time here in detail. We are going to use this same guard and the lever to soften up this line and get it ready for the half guard. So make sure you detail as much as possible before you move on to your next guard. Now that we're done softening up the line with the 1 guard, we're moving on to the half guard and we're going to try to erase the line completely. Sometimes there's still a faint line, so moving on to your no guard all the way open and using its corners will definitely help erase that faint line. Always stretch the skin with your opposite hand, it will give you more room to blend. Now that we're done with our lower guards, we can move on to our 2 guard all the way open and create our 4th guideline. I hope you guys are enjoying the video. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. It's greatly appreciated. Thank you. Also, if you want to support the channel, also follow my Instagram. Is right there on the bottom right hand corner. Now that we're done softening up the line with the 2 guard, we're moving on to our 1.5 guard, and we're going to use our corners to erase the line completely and also use the lever. Sometimes there's still a faint line after using this guard, so you can switch over to your 1 guard all the way open and using its corners and the lever to soften up that line even more. Here I'm using a 3 guard all the way open, and this is going to help us connect to the 4 guard all the way open that we used on top. We're also going to flick out as much as possible using our wrist and the guard. Now we're switching over to our 4 guard all the way open, and this is gonna smooth out the top. Now that we're done with the back taper, we can move on to the back ear lineup, and we're starting off at the bottom and working our way to the top arch using the corners. You also want to make sure you don't press too hard because you could have cut them with the teeth of the trimmer. See how that arch is nice and coming in? We also edged up the C-cup a little bit. This is so it could just be a little bit more cleaner. Now that we're done edging out everything and doing our rough draft, we can move on to our 3-guard all the way open and clean up our canvas. Since we already made our first guideline with our trimmers, we're moving on to our no guard all the way open and creating our second guideline. Since we cleaned up our canvas with our 3-guard all the way open, it's easier for us to see our guidelines. Here we're using the 1-guard all the way open and we're softening up the line, getting it ready for the 1/2 guard. Since we're done with our lower guards, we can move on to our 2-guard all the way open and create our 4th guideline. This is going to help us blend into that 3-guard all the way open that we used, and also our 1.5 guard. Now we're going back to our Gorda FX and we're making sure our C-cup is nice and crispy, because the first time we did it, it was just a rush draft, and so that we could clean up the area and make it easier for us to fade. You always want to start off at the bottom and you'll work your way to the top arch. I feel like that's the best way to line up a C-cup. If you start off at the top, you could raise it too much and make it look weird. Make sure not to press too hard with the corners of the blade because you could irritate their skin. Now we're moving on to our 1.5 guard all the way open, which is equivalent to a 2 guard, and we're gonna debulk the beard. The reason why I use a 1.5 guard all the way open instead of a 2 guard all the way closed is because the guard is smaller and it's easier to get into places. Moving on to his hairline, as you can see, he has a lot of loose hairs and bangs that hang over, so we're gonna make sure we start off at the middle and work our way to the sides and keep it as natural as possible. As you can see, we're also trying our best to keep the corner as natural as possible and our vertical bars as natural as possible. Always start off with your no guard all the way open when fading the beard, and then move on to your 1 guard all the way open, which will help you with your half guard. Some people's sideburns are stronger than others, so it's harder, especially when they're more dense, so just keep at it and make sure it's nice and smooth. It has to match the taper that you did previously. Now that we're done lining them up, we can move on to our Turkish razor and 3rd premium blades and make them as crispy as possible. But before we do that, we're gonna apply some shave gel just so our razor could glide better. Again, I hope you guys are enjoying the video. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. It's greatly appreciated. Also, if you leave a comment down below of my subscriber count, I'm 100% gonna reply to it. Also, if you want to follow my Instagram, it's right there in the bottom corner. Go ahead, check it out. When using your razor, you want to make sure you stretch the skin as much as possible with your opposite hand, and also keep the blade at a 45-degree angle. This lowers the likelihood of you cutting someone.